York. I'm Regina, and we're here at the Monterrey Regional with Team 3158 PrepaTec TECBOT, coming straight from Metepec. Today, they will be showing their robot that has a dual intake as well as a very consistent elevator. This robot has shown to be the most consistent yet in this regional. So, do you want to meet more about this robot? Stay tuned here on Behind the Bumpers. Okay, so I'm here with Isel, Fer, the Mendiola brothers, Alex, and Santiago, and they will be talking about the robot. So, Isel, do you want to talk about the drivetrain?
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. So for the chassis, we are using Swerve, and the measurements are 29.5 by 30 inches. And a fun fact of our chassis is that our cables are inside of the tubes. So right here and right there, or inside, there are cables in there. So now Magaña is going to talk about the process of building of our robot.
So first, we were inspired of how cars could absorb the impact of a crash and not damage the passenger. We were looking something for something like that, so we could save all the things, all the important things that our robot has. While we were building it, we didn't really have a lot of money to process and machinate all the pieces, so we did it all by hand. We tried to do a very simple robot that always works, never fails, while it is simpler, breaks harder and fix easier. Also, something neat is the bumpers we have here. We don't really have two bumpers for two colors. We just change it like this, like take it out and put it in, and we change to blue to red. So now the Mendiola brothers are going to talk about all the mechanisms that our robot has.
So over here, the main mechanism of this whole robot is the elevator. It has 3 stages and can reach up to L4. Powering this elevator, we have a transmission over here. We made it out of MDF since it's not going to take any impact and is fairly reliable and light. Now my brother is going to talk about the intakes. Now we decided to go with only 2 intakes because simpler breaks less. First, we have our front intake, which is both for algae and for coral. It can take the corals up to L4 and it can knock out algae from the reef. And the rear intake over here can take loose algae and put it into the processor really easily. Here we used Neos instead of pneumatics or something like that, so it can be as reliable and as simple as possible. Now, Alex is going to talk about programming.
I think kind of the main thing that sets our robot apart is the programming, all done by my partner over here. So what's specific and different about our elevator is, unlike most teams, we don't manually control the height. We don't, with the joystick, determine if we want it halfway, we want it a little more. The levels are predetermined, they're pre-programmed. So with the click of a button, the elevator shoots up to whichever level we need. And then our pilot, all he has to do is drive forward a little, leave the coral where it needs to be, and that's done.
For our autonomous, we used Choreo program. Choreo helps us to trace some paths that it's the same size of the field that we are in. We also have a lamplight that we can use it in future projects. Our lamp will help us to adjust our position exactly where we need it. Also will help us in autonomous to be more effective in the part that it will like alone be in the position and we don't need to tell where it's be. The robot will think and know where is it and where it needs to be. So it will help us to have better autonomous and better points in our match.
So now let's show how our robot works. Here we have our intake and the elevator. Let's start with that. So first, here our intake. Why it comes up, our intake goes down, and if it goes down, here this arrow will hit the intake in the position it needs to be. Here we can grab the corals and just take one and also take them out. We can also take in here the algae. You just push them in, and then push them out. Can go up also, but mostly we can also score them while they are lower in the processor. So now let's talk about the commands we talked before. Our elevator have 4 commands that we will show right now.
How our commands work is here in the above. I have 4 different levels. One for the intake and one for each level of the reef. L2, L3 and L4. If I click each level, it will take me to the corresponding level. In this level will be our L3 level, and also with our last button we could get to the highest level. In here, each command take it again our coral so it's in the correct position and we can leave it and it enters in the best way. It also can get back to each level without damage our intake.
So for the intake for the alga, so to get it from the floor, have that is intake. This comes down, takes the algae, and then comes up, and then we move, get into the processor, and get it out.
Now, for our transmission, we also made it a polycarbonate. It is a 17-to-1 transmission, and when the wooden one breaks, we'll replace it. Now, this is our climber assembly. The ingenious part about this is that we're using a 100-to-1 transmission in order to move these cams to pull the robot up. Right now, we're using a small Neo 550 motor for testing, and in our next regional, we're planning to use a Neo 1650 so it can have enough power to take a robot up.
They say that consistency is key, and this robot is a living proof of it. We wish you the best of luck on the upcoming playoffs. We cannot wait to see what this robot does. Thank you so much for your time, and this was Behind the Bumpers.